8-bit joystick. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World is a mashup send-off to the Master System that you probably haven't played but totally should. It is the 6th and final game in the Alex the Kid game series, and it is a parody of Sega's Shinobi, but with Alex Kidd in the lead. Alex Kidd was an early Sega mascot that made his debut in 1986's Alex Kidd in Miracle World. There is a theory among fans that Miracle World started off as a game based on Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball manga, but Sega fell through and did not get the license. Dragon Ball took heavy inspiration from the Chinese folk story Journey to the West, so the big ears and monkey-like appearance of Alex Kidd might share a common origin as Son Goku.
Now in the hands of an American.
In 1987, Sega's Shinobi franchise started in arcades before quickly coming home to Sega's 8-bit home consoles, the Sega Mark III in Japan and the Master System elsewhere. Sega's 8-bit home consoles were struggling to gain traction against the twin juggernauts that was the Nintendo Famicom and the NES. Alex Kidd in Miracle World was designed to go toe-to-toe with Mario and did quite well in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Brazil, but sadly not in North America and Japan. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World started life as a parody of the Shinobi game series called Shinobi Kid, according to GamePro's March of 1990. Eventually, the producers at Sega made the obvious leap in logic to turn Shinobi Kid into Alex Kidd and give Sega's one-time mascot another crack at fame and success. It's not even the first Alex Kidd game to be developed as another property. Alex Kidd High-Tech World was adapted from a game based on the anime Animitsu Hime that was only released in Japan. When Alex Kidd in Shinobi World released in 1990 for the Sega Master System, the 16-bit Sega Genesis Mega Drive was already out, but the Master System was still popular enough to get the game released in North America, Europe, Brazil, New Zealand, and Australia, but strangely not Japan, despite the game's heavy Japanese themes and influences. It is an original game that has influences of both Alex Kidd and Shinobi, conceived of as a crossover but functions more like a parody. It had remixes of Shinobi music and ninja enemies and cartoon Japanese creatures. It was initially devised to be a cute chibi parody of Shinobi, in similar vein as Kid Dracula to Castlevania, Parodies to Gradius, Star Parodier to Star Soldier, and it can join cute semi-parody games like Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, ST Battle Ozumo Sumo, and Mighty Final Fight. But to Sega's game developers, self-plagiarism is not a crime in game design. The very thin plot involves Alex Kidd and his girlfriend having a very lovely time on planet Shinobi when she is surprisingly kidnapped by super baddie Dark Ninja Hanzo. A benevolent ninja spirit possesses the body of our hero and imparts him with a ton of ninja powers. I'm rolling my eyes at yet another captured girlfriend trope. I would have preferred to have Sega's Ninja Princess ask him to save the land, but whatever. Alex Kidd has the same momentum-based jumping mechanics as the previous games. The short-range sword is your primary attack, and in this game, you can crouch. By breaking destructible blocks, you can come across power-ups such as Kunai Ninja Throwing Knife, which gives you a ranged attack, and a sword power-up with greater range. The overhead swing comes in handy in defending yourself against shuriken ninja stars thrown by baddie ninjas. There's also a magic icon that turns you into a ninja tornado, allowing you to fly through certain areas with temporary invincibility. Alex Kidd has other ninja moves such as wall jumps that come in handy in certain places, similar to Ninja Gaiden, climbing up and down vertical ropes and poles, and climbing across horizontal poles. Alex has a new ninja trick. When you're holding on to a pole, you can swing around it by going faster and faster until you catch on fire, launching from the pole in a magic ninja attack, sending you vertically upwards or horizontal based on the orientation of the pole. This sounds really cool, but is mostly just used to figure out how to get you to certain platforms and secret areas where hidden power-ups lie. When you are a flaming projectile, you can also cancel out of it at just the right time to land on certain platforms. Definitely the biggest departure from previous Alex Kidd game is that when you start each level, you have a life bar with 3 points. This is a pretty big departure from the one-hit kill gameplay of Alex's trip to Miracle World. But that doesn't mean the game doesn't have challenges. The enemies are fast, but they are fair. 3 hits instead of 1? Alex got tired of being a one-hit wonder. It also has an interesting mechanic to farm extra lives. Where you pick up a heart icon, it adds another notch to your life bar, going up all the way to 6. After that, when you find the next one, it is an extra life. The problem in doing this is that you have to not get hit and take damage, so it puts quite a lot of pressure on you not to fail. After watching a long gameplay video, I was inspired to try and beat the game, and this whole mechanic of farming extra lives by not getting hit only works as long as you don't take any damage. I actually found myself engaging in save state farming to avoid taking damage. I would have enjoyed the game a lot more, and I would have actually played it from start to end how you're supposed to without having to do this. But if you want to make it to the end of the game, you have to get good in the beginning and grind a lot of extra lives.
American Ninja.
It's fun, but it's not a very long game. You can beat it in well under an hour once you are familiar with the levels, but you have to know the layout and not get hit in order to survive the later challenges. So the first boss in round 1 is a fireball throwing, helmet wearing ninja that at first glance you might recognize as the initial boss from the Shinobi arcade game. However, in close inspection, you will notice that he's a plump mustache having individual that apparently was going to be called Mari-O. And after you do some damage, he actually shrinks down in size to a smaller form. This is clearly a reference to a certain plumber of Nintendo. However, Sega did not want to tempt fate or Nintendo's lawyers, so he got renamed Kabuto, which is a reference to his giant helmet and not a tongue-in-cheek reference to their console rival. Nintendo and Sega are good pals now, but let's not forget that they freaking hated each other around this time that this game was made. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World is broken up into 4 stages with 2 levels before a boss fight for each stage. They are roughly based on the missions from the original Shinobi in similar environment settings like docksides and industrial areas. The first stage takes place in a city and is a rough reference to the first stage in Shinobi. The first part is a fight through the streets, and the next is up and down a construction site and warehouses, again straight out of Shinobi. The harbor level is a parody of the second round of Shinobi. It has the swimming stage segment, which is straight out of Miracle World. The boss is a giant robotic-faced helicopter that spits out miniature helicopters that sort of resemble Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone. This is a parody of the Black Turtle helicopter that carries ninjas in Shinobi. The jungle level and bamboo forest is normal enough, but the ending boss is a parody of the giant samurai clad in armor in Shinobi who was called Lobster. In this parody, they actually have a giant lobster called Robster. And if you didn't know that, you would just think, why am I fighting a giant lobster at the end of a jungle level? But that's the kind of weirdness that you see in a game like this. So when you finally get through the underground passageway and you make it to the Dark Ninja's castle, you face off against Kabuto and Robster again, and then a jumping puzzle, and then you make it to Dark Ninja, who is brutally difficult due to his shield. Scoring yourself a copy of this game on cartridge can be a little tricky. As one of the later Master System games released in the US, there really weren't a lot of copies made, so it commands quite a hefty price. However, the Master System is region-free, and the PAL Territories games work just fine in a North American NTSC region Master System. The game plays at a proper speed, so if you happen to find yourself a cheaper European or Australian copy, go for it. And if you just want to play the game, it works great in emulation, FPGA, and using an EverDrive like I am here to play it on my Sega Master System. Nintendo actually released this game on the Wii Virtual Console, but sadly, they shut it down. However you want to play this awesome game is up to you, but I'm not one to judge. Despite the very welcoming Ninja makeover, it still feels like an Alex Kidd game with the occasional slipperiness to the momentum-based jumping and the destructible blocks with a ton of hidden goodies. The ironic thing is, while this didn't start off as an Alex Kidd game, it is quite possibly the best Alex Kidd game besides Miracle World. The only thing more 1980s than Mascot platformers are ninja games and ninja movies. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World was passed up by gamers in favor of more glitzy and glamorous 16-bit games, but it masterfully blends the two franchises together. I think that it's a crying shame because there are a lot of good stuff here. Responsive controls, vibrant graphics, well thought out level design, and entertaining boss battles. This makes it a much more enjoyable time now when one is nostalgic for a simpler time with simpler games that had a hell of a lot more ninja action in them. So you need to ask yourself if your life in 2025 has enough ninja action in it. If not, this game might just kidnap your free time, and you should seriously consider playing Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. Hey, if you liked this video, it would really help out to hit the like button that tells YouTube that you thought this video was pretty dope. We make awesome videos like this each week. There are some really cool ones coming up, and you should totally click the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching. This is 8-Bit Joystick. Stay awesome, play retro.